Hey there everyone, how you doing today? Mr. Chu here with Bear Algebra. So do you understand how to multiply two binomials when you're vertically stacking them up? So we're going to look at this and see if it makes sense to you. So when you vertically stack these up, you're going to stack them up one after another. I got a big capital X here for times. Make sure if this is a helpful video, you give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. That helps me push it out to more people. So I'm just trying to make algebra understandable. It's not that hard if you can learn to do it step by step. So I take the first binomial, and right underneath it, I write the second one. It's always helpful if you've got any like terms to have them lined up. It's also helpful that if you have any subtraction, you change it to plus the opposite, but we don't. So, just like when you're multiplying a number, you start on the far right. 5 times 2 is 10. And since that's positive, we'll put a plus sign. And 2 times y is 2y. Now I drop down to my next line. And then I've already done the 2, now I go to the y. Now y times 5 is 5y. And you notice those are like terms. I line them up right underneath each other. And then y times y is y squared. And since it's positive, I put a plus sign there. Now you add down. There's nothing up here, so I just have my y squared. 2y plus 5y is 7y. And then I just bring down the plus 10. Now remember, I showed you how to do this using the distributive property, and you could use that method to check it if you wanted to. All right, example 2. Now I've got 4x plus 3 times 3x plus 9. Just so that we can have a minus, let's change one of these to subtraction. And I know that's different than what I had in my short, but let's just do that so that we can see how we deal with that. I think it's important that you see one like that. Okay. All right, I take my first binomial, put it on the top, and then I put a big capital X for times. I usually don't use an X for times, but this is one of the few cases I do. And then I put my 3x minus 9 under here, and I try to line any terms up that would end up combining to be like terms. So it's just an easy way to do it. Now, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to change the minus 9 to plus a negative 9. It's just a good habit to get in. And then you start here. Negative 9 times 3 is negative 27. And now negative 9 times 4x is negative 36x. And now I go to my next term. So instead of having it line up here, we're going to have terms of x. 3x times 3 is 9x. And 3x times 4x is 12x squared. Now 0 plus your 12x squared is just 12x squared. Negative 36x and 9x, while I add down, is going to be negative 27x plus negative 27. Okay? Now, remember, most books are going to write plus a negative as a minus. Now, I always have some students that say, well, if you wouldn't have had me change it up here, it would have already been minus. Maybe it would have. But quite often, people will take that minus 9 and just say 9 times 3 is positive 27. And 9 times 4x is positive 36. Or once you've got the negative, it's easier to go ahead and carry that negative through. All right, so now you're saying, okay, but is this really the right answer? Well, you remember in an earlier video, I showed you how to use the distributive property 4x times the 3x minus 9 plus 3 times the 3x minus 9. We're just checking now to see what's happening. So we've got 4x times 3x. And then I change this to plus the opposite, change this to plus the opposite. And now I've got my 4x times my negative 9. And now I've got my 3 times my 3x. Now I've got my 3 times my negative 9. So this is 3 times 4 is 12. X times x is x squared. 4x times negative 9 is negative 36x. 3 times 3 is 9, and those are x's, plus negative 27. Now look and see what we had here. We have a 12x squared, and there's a 12x squared. We have a negative 36x, we have a negative 36x. We have a 9x and 9x. We have a negative 27 and a negative 27 here. So when I combine these two terms here, I have 12x squared plus negative 27x plus negative 27, which converts to, and then like I mentioned in my earlier video, this is unit 7. Unit 8 is when you take this and figure out how to bring it back up to here. All right, so let's look at some challenge problems. Why do I do challenge problems? Because I want to see, do you really understand? And you can see the answers immediately worked out after you try them on your own. So, here are your challenge problems for lesson 7.07D. All right, challenge 1. We have 8m minus 1 times 2m plus 3. Challenge 2. I've got 2b plus 6 times 5b minus 9. There's your two challenge problems. There will be a link up here. Pause it now, work them. See if you can do them. Stack them up. It's not that bad. Then there'll be a link up here at the top, or you can search into 7.07E would be the name of it. And you can check and see how well you did. I'm Mr. Chu. This is Bare Algebra. We're multiplying binomials, vertically stacking them up. I want you to learn all kinds of different ways, and then it's all going to make sense to you. So please watch my videos, and I'll see you next time when I work the challenge problems.